So you want to raise turkeys? Well, I'm gonna be going over 3 tips that you want to know before you start raising turkeys, before you get turkeys of your own. Because I actually just finished my first batch of turkeys, and from birth to processing. So I'm gonna show you 3 lessons that will help you when you're raising turkeys. All right, let's go. Alright, welcome to my channel, man. Set Apart Gardens, where we believe in self-sufficiency. Me and my family, the vision that we have is for our property to be a self-sufficient homestead. And in that, of course, you got to know how to butcher your own food. You got to know how to raise your own food, garden, all that different type of stuff. Livestock, husbandry, everything. And hunting, fishing, all that type of stuff. So anywho, that's what the goal is for Set Apart Gardens, is to have a self-sufficient homestead, because we believe that if you give somebody the power to feed you, you're giving the power to starve you. And with that being said, the first tip I have, if you want to raise turkeys, especially from little, I think they call them poults when they're babies. They're not called chicks, but baby turkeys. You want to make sure that you have a good incubator for them, or a good brooder, if you will. That's a better word. If you want to make sure that your brooder, you have a regulated temperature, because turkeys, especially when they're babies, and it's the same with chickens, but turkeys I found to be much more sensitive. So when you're raising baby turkeys, they're not able to regulate their internal temperature, and as a result, if it gets too cold, they can die, or if it gets too hot, they can die. So you want to make sure that they have a ideal setting, an ideal brooder, incubator, to where that, you know, they'll have access to warmth pretty much, so you can get a heat lamp, things like that. My brooder is in my garage, so you know, there's no you know, winds that's blowing and different things like that. It's no rain coming in and all that type of stuff. Now when they do get older, when they get their feathers and everything like that, then they're able to withstand the elements. But as babies, you got to make sure that you keep an eye on them and keep them in a nice environment to where they can. I hate my dog Chase. He got him a whole lamb shank right there, and he's just in heaven right now. Look at him. Chasey. Yes, sir. White German Shepherd, y'all. He's a beauty. He's a handsome fella. Number 2, the second lesson, or the second tip that I can give you, that I learned through raising turkeys, is you want to make sure that they have adequate enough food and adequate enough water. Because see, I started my baby turkeys off with my baby chickens, so you know, they have 2 different appetites. Now it takes a little while for them to grow as big as they get for turkeys, but at the same time, you still want to make sure that you're feeding them adequate enough, a high quality feed, a high protein feed, and also you want to make sure they have adequate enough water, because they love water. Turkeys drink a lot of water. So you want to make sure that they have access to that, and also you want to make sure they have access to fresh pasture, because just like chickens and other birds, turkeys, they like to eat the pasture as well. They love the green grass, and it also helps them grow and you know, grow healthy and different things like that, and it makes that meat pretty good. But yeah, you want to make sure that they have an adequate enough amount of feed, because their appetites are a lot bigger than chickens, you know, because they get to be up to about 20-30 pounds. You know, that's a big bird, so they need a lot of feed. They need a lot of food. All right, and the last tip that I want to give you guys when it comes to raising turkeys is be patient and be vigilant. That's the word. I be getting tongue-tied, y'all, my bad. But be vigilant. What I mean by that is you want to make sure you're always keeping an eye on them, especially the younger they are, because you want to make sure that they are in good health. There's nothing wrong with them. You know, there's not anything, you know, kind of threatening their life and everything like that. So you want to make sure you're vigilant, just like with all other livestock. If you have a dog, you pay attention to your dog. You know, if they're acting out of the ordinary with their behavior, then something might be wrong. Same thing with other livestock. Like I have sheep, I make sure I pay attention to my sheep. You know, I make sure I'm vigilant. But the main thing too with turkeys is you want to be patient, because they don't grow as fast as chickens and other poultry. But you know, when they do start growing, they start growing and they get big. You know, for these turkeys I got right now, I forget the exact breed that I got, but I believe they're a heritage breed. So of course, when you know heritage breeds, that means that they don't grow as big as commercially breeds that they raise for meat, you know, like I can't think of the names of any turkey breeds right now, but anywho, you have specific breeds in turkeys that they raise specifically for meat, so they'll cross them with different breeds so they can create a breed that's going to grow fast and big. But however, if you're getting a regular heritage breed, then it's going to take probably about 5 months for them to get to mature weight before they can even get to slaughter. So you want to be patient, and in that time of being patient, you want to be vigilant, and you want to keep your eye on your animals, make sure that they have, you know, the adequate feed, adequate, you know, nutrients, whatever they need, you know, deworming, things like that. You want to make sure that you're paying attention and that you're administering all of that so that they can grow to be healthy and they can grow to serve you, you know, because at the end of the day, they're food. So you want to make sure your food has access to the best food and access to the best lifestyle, because that's going to go inside of you and you're going to receive those nutrients in the end. So you want to make sure you're taking care of what's supposed to be taking care of you. So anywho, those are the 3 major tips, man. Raising turkeys is not that hard. Like I always like to tell people, just get into it. You know what I'm saying? Just go and order you some turkeys, you know, build you a little brooder, build you a little coop or whatever the case may be, an area for them, you know, order maybe like 5, because I started off with 5. 3 survived. I had 2 died because of the simple fact, you know, like I was telling you, as far as you want to make sure that they have access to a heat lamp and different things to where they can get warm if they need to, and things like that. But anywho, like I said, it's not that hard, y'all. You know, it's very worth it to me, in my opinion, because you know where your food is coming from. Like I always like to ask people, like, do you know where your food comes from? We can go to the grocery store and the supermarket and things like that, and we can pick up turkey or we can pick up beef or chicken or whatever, but you got to ask yourself, who raised this meat? Where did it come from? Hey, stop chasing that chicken. You like chasing those chickens. But anywho, you know, you got to ask yourself where it comes from. What farm was it raised on? What did they feed it? What kind of diet was it on? Did it have access to sunlight? Did it have access to clean water? Was it pumped with steroids? All these different questions you got to ask yourself, but you don't have to ask yourself that when you're raising it on your own. And so that's what brings peace of mind and quality of life, in my opinion. But with all that said, man, if you guys enjoyed the video, if you learned something, man, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Join the Sap Gardens family, man. If you have experience with raising turkeys, leave some tips in the comments section below that we can all learn from, man, because we're here to learn together, grow together, you know what I'm saying, and become self-sufficient together. So if you have experience with raising turkeys, leave them in the comment section below. Hey, man, stop chasing that chicken. I ain't gonna tell you again. He excited pup. He is very, very hyper. He's only 7 months and he's huge. But anywho, yeah, man, y'all go ahead and do that. Do me a favor, man. Hit that like and share, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And like I always like to say, if you give somebody the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve. Peace.
So we're back then. Really ain't that bad. Little wiretap, yes, yes. Little dodge in the IRS. Little haven from the tax man.